What's up YouTube? Samsung previously launched the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition and has a pretty interesting flagship features for around $699. And this brings me a question whether it is really for a fanboy of Samsung. So let's get started. Let's start from the design. Bezels of this phone is quite big as we see with the small punch hole camera. As we go at the bottom, we have a Type-C for charging and a couple of antenna bands. And on the sides, we got the volume rockers. And as we move on to the back side of the phone, the texture is somewhat gives a premium look, but it's a plastic finish. And I feel bad for it for the price range of $699. And the camera module of this phone is very interesting. Samsung states that it has a pro-grade camera from the Note 20 and seems to look so familiar. But it's not. The Note 20 has a 108 megapixel wide-angle camera while the S20 FE has a 12 megapixel camera. And even the telephoto lens have toned down to 8 megapixel when compared to the Note 20 with 12 megapixel. And when we come to the front-facing camera, the things are quite different. The S20 FE has a massive 32 megapixel lens while the Note 20 has a 10 megapixel. And when we compare the photos with the Pixel 5, which comes around the same price of $699, the pictures on the S20 FE has more detail and colors look more bluish while the Pixel 5 gives more natural colors. This even applies to the same ultra-wide lens, and S20 FE has the added advantage of 10 times zoom, which is more detail than the Pixel 5's 7 times zoom, which is very digital oriented. And even the night shots are doing really great on the S20 FE, which is more sharper and very detailed. From this we see that the Pixel have ran out of juice on the camera segment, and now most of the phones are caught up to the Pixel level processing, but it's still holding its top position in the great portraits and low light shots, which is very impressive when compared to the other Androids. And on the display side, the S20 FE has an AMOLED 120Hz display, which is very nice for the price point they brought in. But there are some downgrades. People who bought the S20 FE have encountered some display problems, like the display is very sensitive to touches, so look out for that. Getting to know about the Samsung phone's performance is really a pain. It's because the performance differs from country to country. The US market gets a Snapdragon 865 processor while the rest of the world gets the Exynos 990 processor. When we compare the Snapdragon and Exynos processor simultaneously, the Snapdragon processor is very efficient and much more powerful than the Exynos processor. And even the RAM varies too. This time, the US market starts with a 6 gigs of RAM, while the rest of the world with the Exynos processor has 8 gigs of RAM. With stereo speakers and Xbox Game Pass, the gaming experience on the S20 FE is much more immersive, and you should be keeping track of your data cause it consumes a lot more data for Xbox Game Pass. It's nice that this phone comes with 5G, but it's too early and it's hard to find 5G towers nearby. But once you get those signals, the speeds are literally up to 2 gigabytes per second. Another nice thing is that this S20 FE starts with 120 gigs of storage. For the long run usage, well, I believe this phone will keep up to around 3 to 4 years with constant updates, which I believe Samsung should provide it as it comes under mid-range premium tier. Speaking of long lasting, the battery capacity on this phone has 4500 mAh battery, which will last for a day for light tasks. And for heavy tasks like gaming, it will last for nearly 8 hours, which is great when compared with the other phones. Overall, my thoughts on the S20 FE is very good and actually checks all the boxes. But I don't think every Samsung fanboy would buy this considering the price point. Like, consider the OnePlus strategy of bringing the new lineup called OnePlus Nord, which gives premium features for around $350. I think the same way the Samsung should have brought up this phone, but I don't think this fan edition is for every fan of Samsung. And that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Thank you for watching. Do leave a like, comment, and I'll try to answer as much as possible. And subscribe to have more videos like this.